Well, after 31 seasons indoors, the Vikings will play their final game here today before moving to TCF Bank Stadium at the University of Minnesota for 2 seasons while their new stadium is being built on this site. Vikings are 167-92 here all time, including both regular season and the playoffs. And Detroit won the toss. They deferred, so the Vikings will receive. And Patterson leads the NFL in kickoff returns. He won't get an opportunity here as Chase Ford takes a knee in the end zone. And the Vikings will start at the 20-yard line. So let's take a look as we start at our impact players on both sides of the ball.
And what we're talking about are players going forward for both franchises. Cordero Patterson, a rookie who is so exciting. Matt Khalil was in the Pro Bowl as a rookie last year. For Detroit, Ziggy Ansah leads the NFL in rookie sacks, has 8 this year, defensive end. And Darius Slay back in the lineup starting today for the injured Chris Houston, has a bright future on the corner.
First down and 10 of the 20-yard line for Matt Castle and the Vikings. And Ansah.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 94. Step in neutral zone, causing an offensive player to lift. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Ziggy trying to get it going quickly.
Trying to get that 9th sack on the first snap of the game.
So Matt Castle, in his 9th year out of USC, signed as a free agent in 2013. Spent 4 years with the Patriots and 4 years with the Chiefs. And this is his 6th start of the year and 4th in a row. He's won 2 of 3 home starts this season. He'll throw it over the middle. And that ball caught as they cross the 30-yard line. Chase Ford with a nice grab, and he's brought down by Levy.
Regular tight ends for Minnesota, both missing. Kyle Rudolph and John Carlson out for the season with injuries. Chase Ford signed off the practice squad. Activated, that's his 7th catch of the year. And in the game at Philadelphia, had catches of 18 and 37 yards. Really auditioning for a spot in the future.
The first down and 10 of the 34. Opening drive for Minnesota. Here's the handoff. And they run it over the right side. Let's take a look at some key inactives for today. And 2 pretty good players. Calvin Johnson and Adrian Peterson not playing.
Yeah, we mentioned them at the top of the show. Whenever either one of those guys isn't in the lineup, a lot of pressure goes to the rest of the guys. Chris Houston, a starting corner, not going today for Detroit. And Toby Gerhart, a terrific backup for Adrian Peterson, gone. So Matt Asiata, who just got the last carry, is the next man up, the 3rd tailback in the rotation.
Here's Castle to throw it. Deep drop, lofts it up, and incomplete, intended for Chase Ford. Ford did have a step, but unable to haul it in.
Looked like DeAndre Levy, who many of the Lions are upset is not going to the Pro Bowl this year, did a nice job running underneath the route, and I think he affected Chase Ford's concentration trying to catch the ball, getting a hand up late. If so, that's Levy's 21st pass broken up on the season. Done an excellent job in coverage as a starting linebacker.
So Minnesota 0 for 9 on 3rd down conversions against the Bengals last week. Here's Castle, delivers. Ford again with the grab, but he'll be short of the first down, and the Vikings will have to punt it away. Stephen Tulloch, their leading tackler, and Rasheed Mathis combining on the tackle.
Watch the end of the play. See exactly as you described, Gus. The Lions converging and making plays. Tulloch, 55 coming from inside. On the outside, Rasheed Mathis, the former All-Star who played with the Jacksonville Jaguars, combined to close down the play.
So Jeff Locke will punt it from the 26. Back deep, Jeremy Ross in his 2nd year out of Cal stands at the 12. Left-footed punter drives it. And Ross from the 16, and he's upended at the 25-yard line. Terrific looking special teams play by Larry Dean. And the impact players offensively for Detroit, defensively for Minnesota.
Riley Reif, who has really solidified himself at the left tackle position, has played well this season. Larry Warford has had as good a rookie year at guard as anyone in recent memory. Harrison Smith missed 8 weeks with an injury, but he's a building block at safety, and Sharif Floyd was their 1st-round draft pick this past year.
So Reggie Bush, the starting tailback for Detroit, 26 yards away from 1,000. First down and 10. Here's Bush, former Southern California running back, and he'll go straight forward, pick up a couple. Matthew Stafford, 6'3", 232 in his 5th year out of Georgia. First overall pick in 2009. And since 2011, he's had more pass attempts than any other NFL quarterback and the 2nd most yards to Drew Brees. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards this season, and that's like every year for him nowadays.
Again, I mean, it's 3 straight years, over 4,000 yards throwing the football.
2nd down and 8. Here's a handoff. Reggie Bush running right, breaks free, gets across the 30, close to the 35-yard line before being hauled down by Robert Blanton. I think Reggie Bush has been a terrific addition for the Lions.
He has, because he brings every element of the game from the backfield. We know he can catch it. That's where he made his bones with the New Orleans Saints. But he's really added running the football from his time in Miami and now here in Detroit. So he's a real pro. The only thing that has only been downside to him this year, 4 fumbles. And that's hurt the football team.
191 yards from scrimmage in their season opener against these Vikings. Detroit winning the game 34-24. 3rd down and 2 at the 33 for Stafford. He looks near side and completes it for 1st down. Nate Burleson with his 35th catch of the year, but more importantly, a 1st down for the Lions.
A lot of the criticism Matthew Stafford gets centers on this. He always is looking for Calvin Johnson. He's too Calvin Johnson centric. Well, anyone who's smart is going to get the ball to Calvin Johnson as many times as possible. But today, without Megatron in the lineup, let's watch Matthew Stafford and see his development and see if he spreads the ball around to this plethora of receivers.
1st down and 10 at the 37, opening drive for Detroit. Here's Stafford handing it off to Sherrills, and he runs into a wall of purple. Aaron Henderson, first man to him.
Joique Bell, who just had the last carry, has been a real nice pickup for the Detroit Lions. They knew about him in college, a Wayne State graduate right there outside of Detroit. Was the Harlan Hill Award winner, which is the version of the Heisman Trophy for his division, and has really done a nice job stepping in this season and increasing the productivity in the backfield for the Lions.
Here's Stafford to throw it, looking for Bell. He finds him in the flats. And Bell, nice piece of running after the catch, and he moves the football down the field, gains 5 yards.
Good coverage by the Vikings outside. I think Bell got more out of this play than he should have. Look at him converge, and right there, he makes one guy miss, spins through the 2nd tackle, and picks up additional yardage. Talked with Scott Linehan, the offense coordinator, yesterday, and I asked him to describe Joique Bell, and he said he's a tough out. And we just saw evidence of that on that catch.
3rd down and 4 at the 43-yard line. Here's Stafford. In trouble, he'll throw, and that ball caught by Kevin Ogletree, or now they call it an incomplete pass. Looked like he pulled it up off the turf.
He tried to go low and scoop it. They played plenty of baseball here, and he tried to get underneath it and scoop it like a shortstop, but you see the ball hit, and you see the black pellets from the crushed rubber in this turf come up. Another thing that people talk about Matthew Stafford all the time, arm angles. Where's he throwing the ball from? We saw the sidearm deliveries. He tried to complete that one. Ineffective.
So the Lions force to punt it away. Now this is Marcus Sherrills at the 11-yard line. Tries to get outside. Gets to the 20, still on his feet. And finally wrapped up. Don Carey with the tackle on special teams. A 45-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Coming up, the Vikings on O after this.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome back. No score. First quarter final game at the Metrodome here in Minneapolis after over 3 decades. Vikings now with the football. 1st down and 10 at the 24. Castle, he rolls out of the pocket, dumps it off. Chase Ford trying to hurdle the defender. He gets to the 35. Dangerous looking play there, as Ford gets airborne.
Misdirection play, easy throw, puts it right on Ford, and you can tell a young man hungry to not just stay in the league, but increase his reps, increase his opportunity. Got a chance this year due to injuries to the top 2 tight ends, and he's making the most of it. Been the primary target today for the Vikings.
Empty backfield for Matt Castle. He'll drop it off on the far side. Greg Jennings, who's had a solid season, 64th catch of the year. And he's brought down by Tulloch. Jennings in his 8th year. Out of Western Michigan. 760 receiving yards, averaging 12 yards per catch on the year. The quarterback's position has been a point of emphasis for this Minnesota Vikings team.
It's been a revolving door this season. Christian Ponder, the draft pick a couple of years ago, was a starter when we began. Josh Freeman was acquired, got 1 start. Matt Castle will finish the season.
2nd down and 8 at the 38. Here's a handoff. Asiata running right. Asiata in his 2nd year out of Utah has 3 touchdowns on the season. He's carried the ball in just 1 game this year, rushed for 51 yards and 3 touchdowns on 30 carries versus the Eagles a couple of weeks ago when Adrian Peterson was inactive.
Doesn't sound very efficient, does it? I mean, 30 for 51, but it served a purpose for the Vikings because you just couldn't tee off in the pass rush for the Philadelphia Eagles when you had a guy who carried it 30 times. They made him respect him.
3rd down and 3 at the 43. Castle looking underneath, and he finds his receiver. It's Jerome Simpson. Simpson with his 46th catch of the year gains 14 yards and a 1st down for the Vikes.
You see Matt Castle now starting to spread the ball around a little bit more. Started the game, chase forward, chase forward, chase forward. Now he's getting Simpson involved. Jennings, don't be surprised here. They want to take one now. All right, is Patterson on the field? No, not on the field. Otherwise, I'm going to say Cordero Patterson at some point hasn't touched the football, a dynamic playmaker.
Here's Castle to throw it, and he'll check down to Asiata, and Tulloch just rips him to the turf.
Look at that big hit. You know who that is?
And Dominican Sue there as well.
Now, folks, that's coming from the defensive tackle position, which means on the snap, he started to rush the passer, turned on the pass, and came back into the secondary to help make the tackle.
2nd down and 5 to the 38. Castle to the near side. Incomplete. Simpson wasn't ready for the football. It's like some miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver.
And Castle had that one all the way. He came out with a little half roll and was aiming for that back shoulder throw. That was all he had in his head. And Jerome Simpson was turning upfield. Look at Castle. That's where he wanted to go. He just assumed that Simpson was connected with him in sync, and Simpson's running upfield on the fade pattern.
So the Lions have been good at getting off the field on 3rd down 69% of the time. That's the best mark in the NFL. 3rd down and 5 for the Vikings. Forward in motion, lines up in the slot at the top of your screen. Here's Castle under pressure, rolls out of it. Incomplete. Castle had a lane, but elected to try to find Asiata. Ashley Palmer deflecting the football.
2 big plays here. The first one by Matt Castle, spinning away from Don Carey, who's a free hitter, coming at him, misses it. Now here comes the second big play. Ashley Palmer, the linebacker. He jumps up and tips the ball and causes the incompletion. If he doesn't, that ball goes to Asiata, and that's a 1st down for the Vikings.
So on 4th down, Minnesota will punt it away. Jeremy Ross standing inside his own 10-yard line, and Jeff Locke will try to bury him inside the 20.
They're not upset with this penalty. They wanted this penalty. They want to get an extra 5 yards to help the punter's angle.
Offense, 5-yard penalty remains, 4th down.
I've always wondered in these situations why you wouldn't just decline it and make it tougher on the punter rather than give him the 5 yards he wants. He wants a better angle to try and drop the ball inside the 10-yard line. It's like that little wedge shot that you're hitting out on all those great courses. Gus?
Oh, yeah.
You know, checking it up, trying to drop it in there.
1 out of 10. Here's Locke. Darren Bennett, end over end punt. And it's fair caught at the 7-yard line by Jeremy Ross. So Detroit pinned deep in their own end, and Matthew Stafford will have to go to work when we come back to the Twin Cities.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Welcome back to Minneapolis. 5:49 to play in the first quarter. No score. Lions start from their own 7. Here's Stafford handing it to Reggie Bush, and he is ambushed in the backfield. Aaron Henderson with the tackle. Now let's go to Los Angeles for a game break with Joel Klatt.
All right, Gus, let's go down to Atlanta. Tony Gonzalez's final game, but he's used as a decoy here. Jason Snelling, 9-yard TD catch from Matt Ryan. Carolina trying to sew up a bye in the 2nd seed with a win, but for now, 7-0 Falcons. Back to Minnesota, Gus, Charles, and Carissa.
And Joel, Cam Newton's got to do it today without Steve Smith, his primary target, inactive today.
2nd down and 12 at the 5 after the 2-yard loss. Stafford passing out of his own end zone. Finds Reggie Bush at the 5, and Bush, great open field tackling by the Vikings as they bring him down.
And now, look at this, 3rd and deep. Big decision for the Lions here. Why? Last game of the Metrodome, right? Also possibly the last game for Jared Allen, Kevin Williams as Vikings. You think they're not going to be motivated to try and get after the quarterback now? Jared Allen had a terrific game in the season opener against Riley Reif, the left tackle. Let's see how he gets off the football in this snap.
Jared Allen, 9.5 sacks in his 10th year. He'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. 3rd down and 11. Stafford, the throw, drops off a screen to Reggie Bush. Bush still on his feet. He will not pick up the 1st down as he's finally ridden out of bounds by Robert Blanton. So Detroit forced to punt it away.
They always talk about giving help to a blocker dealing with a big-time pass rusher. What the Lions did was they gave help to Riley Reif by calling a screen pass. Let Jared Allen try and take himself out of the play, throw it over the top of him, and try and gain yardage.
Marcus Sherrills getting away from the football. It bounces at midfield, then takes a Lions bounce, and is down inside the 35-yard line. A 56-yard punt. So far, all defense here in Minnesota. Both teams stout on the defensive end.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by your next truck, Ford F-150. By State Farm, it pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. And by Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Moss.
Welcome back. Each team has had 2 possessions. We've had 4 punts. 3:33 to play in the first quarter, and Minnesota starts at the 31. Matt Castle, 6 of 9 so far, 43 yards.
And look who's in the backfield next to him, Cordero Patterson, normally a wide receiver, lining up as a running back.
Here's Castle, and he fires underneath. Jerry's right, and he'll get to midfield and inside Lions territory. Great pattern, nice strike by Matt Castle. Now coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week with a showdown between the Packers and the Bears for the NFC North title or other games with major playoff implications. The action continues next right here on Fox. What a great day of NFL football, final day of the regular season. A lot going on in the National Football League. 1st down and 10 at midfield for the Vikings. Here's the pitch. Looks like they want to do something fancy. Patterson, will he throw it? No. He elects to run it. Gets a block. Patterson outside. Flag on the play. Patterson still on his feet. Gets into the end zone for a touchdown, but will it stand?
Based on where I saw the flag thrown, I don't think so. It was thrown in the middle of the secondary, and I think they might get an illegal block downfield.
Holding defense number 32. This penalty is declined. The result for the play, touchdown.
Wow, so it will stand 50 yards for Cordero Patterson.
So my eyes deceived me on this because I thought they had a block downfield that wasn't quite right. There's Castle with a nice block holding him up. As you noted, Patterson wanted to throw the football, pulled it down, and then makes the cut all the way cross field to end up with a touchdown. A dynamic, explosive youngster out of Tennessee puts the Vikings ahead.
Cordero Patterson, and you had to throw that Tennessee reference in because you went to Tennessee and he stayed at Tennessee 1 year. That's his third rushing touchdown of the season. And the Vikings take the lead, Charles. Extra point up and good. Cordero Patterson, breakaway speed, finds the end zone, and Minnesota leads 7-0. Vikings take a 7-0 lead after a 50-yard run by Cordero Patterson. His third rushing touchdown of the season, and a lot of pressure on these coaches heading into this final game. Speculation that Coach Frazier and Coach Schwartz could be looking for employment starting as early as tomorrow. Let's take a look back. The first regular season game at the Metrodome, September 12th, '82. Viking hosted the Buccaneers. Tommy Kramer connects with Sammy White for the game-winning touchdown. Vikes won it 17-10.
There's Coach Grant. There he is up in the suite now. I think he's here today. Coach Jerry Burns, who also had success here with the Vikings, is here. A lot of the great coaches and players of the past coming here, coming back to say goodbye to the Metrodome.
First down and 10 at the 20 for Detroit. Here's Stafford rolling out of the pocket. Sets himself. Stafford in trouble, and Stafford will be taken down by guess who? Jared Allen. 10.5 sacks on the season. And what could be his final game in a Minnesota Vikings uniform.
This now gives him 7 straight years of double-digit sacks. He plays the play on the backside, but doesn't give up. Brian Robinson actually flushed Stafford back to Jared Allen. And Robinson and Allen are in a race to see who ends up as the #1 sack guy this year for the Vikings. Allen takes the early advantage in this game thanks to some help from his teammate Brian Robinson.
Second down and 16. At the 14-yard line for Detroit. Here's a handoff, Reggie Bush. And Bush doesn't go very far.
You know what Minnesota has going for it today? Is the Metrodome is being closed, so the memories are starting to flood into this place. And everyone knows this has been a horrible year for the team, and the city hasn't enjoyed it, but they're getting together for one last run, and you can feel the momentum starting to creep in, can't you?
Yes.
The Vikings defense playing like that front four we'd seen during the time Jared Allen has been here, putting pressure on Matthew Stafford.
After the 2-yard gain, third down and 14 at the 16 for Detroit. Stafford under pressure, dumps it off to his tight end, Fourier, and Joseph Fourier will not pick up the first down as he's taken down by Robert Blanton.
And these young guys have to start being careful about doing this leap thing, because how about this? He didn't leap over anyone. He leaped into the arms of the tackler. See how he leaps early? He's not leaping over anyone. You're leaping, and Aaron Henderson comes up with the tackle, as does Robert Blanton. He never even got to the defender before he took off. Made it an easy tackle for the Vikings.
Fourier has had a very good rookie season, 7 touchdowns from the tight end spot. Sherrills trying to make something happen. Sherrill still on his feet and finally goes down. But a flag on the play. Theo Riddick with the tackle for Detroit on special teams. A 62-yard punt and a 14-yard return.
There is no foul for an illegal block in the back as the contact was made on the shoulder.
All right, 31 seconds to play in the first quarter. Vikings playing with energy, led by this man, Jared Allen. All right, folks, this Friday, Charles and I will be at one of the best bowl games of the year. 13th ranked Oklahoma State takes on James Franklin and number 8 Missouri, the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic, this Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only here on Fox. First down and 10 at the 29 for Minnesota. Castle will hand it off. Asiata. You know, that 50-yard touchdown run by Patterson was a big touchdown run because the Lions only once in the last 46 quarters has a team scored a rushing touchdown against their defense. So Patterson going 50 yards. Spectacular run. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter with the score. The Vikings 7, the Lions nothing. Old black and blue game from the Twin Cities. Back after this. Notable memories here at the Metrodome. The 1985 Major League Baseball All-Star Game in 87 and 91. The World Series, both won by the Twins. Super Bowl 26, played in 1992. Washington beat Buffalo. And the 1992 and 2001 NCAA Men's Final Fours, both won by Duke. Now that's not right, Charles.
That's just cold.
That's cold-blooded.
I mean, the Vikings themselves, 4 Super Bowls, right? Bud Grant back here, head coach of those teams.
Second down and 7. Castle short drop. Far side. Strike to Greg Jennings, and he'll pick up a first down. Matt Castle, during his career, has shown that he has the ability to be a very solid quarterback in this league.
Remember New England. Everybody goes back to that because he came into the league totally unheralded. In fact, had played some tight end and played on special teams at USC before getting a chance to be a pro quarterback, developed there, and then got his chance in Kansas City.
8 of 11, 74 yards. Castle again really winds up and incomplete. Simpson couldn't hold on, and a flag thrown. Rasheem Mathis may be called for targeting here.
And you know that's going to be the initial call. Let's take a look. Yeah, he ends up high. I mean,
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 26, with contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yep, that's Louis Delmas, the safety that they called it on. Watch as he comes over the top, and look where the contact is. Right into the head area with the shoulder. No choice but to throw that flag by the officials within the parameters of the rule. I know he wanted a different target spot, but I think on the tackle by number 30, Darius Slay, it changed the target area for his teammate, and he ended up high instead of in the chest area.
First down and 10. Here's a handoff. Asiata with running room, and he's pulled down at the Detroit 32. Tulla has to make the tackle, but Minnesota moving the football.
If you notice how they're getting it done too, they're running Matt Asiata just enough to suggest to Detroit, don't totally take your focus away from it. Okay, make sure that you still respect the run game just a little bit. Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, mixing and matching without his top 2 running backs, Adrian Peterson and Toby Gerhart, wanting to throw the ball on the perimeter, but needing Detroit to respect them inside.
Asiata, 4 carries, 21 yards. He'll get it again. And he'll try to get the first down as he dives forward. Levy with the tackle. And so Asiata close to the first down marker. They'll bring out the chains and measure. And it looks like he has it by the nose of the football. First down, Minnesota.
And Bill Musgrave has trotted out an extra offensive lineman into the huddle for this set. So what that suggests to you is a power shot with Matt Asiata. Sometimes that's the illusion, though. Show you the power set, go play action, and try and take a shot. Jamarcus Webb, 73, is coming to the lineup. He's an extra tackle on the right side of the line.
First down and 10 at the Detroit 31. Asiata gets outside, turns the corner, lowers his head, and he'll pick up 7.5. Tulloch and Devin Taylor combining on the tackle. Let's go to Los Angeles for a game break with Joel Klatt.
All right, Gus, let's go to Cincinnati. Baltimore needing a win, some help to get into the playoffs, but they're not getting it from Andy Dalton. 53 yards to A.J. Green. Green's 11th of the season. Bengals up by 1, 7-6. Back to Minnesota. Gus, Charles, and Carissa.
Bengals really rounding into form as the season ends.
Down. Keep it on, Rob.
Second down and short, play fake. Castle going deep. That one deflected at the line of scrimmage and almost picked off by Tulloch.
The defensive front of Detroit is one of the best in the league, and we always think about sacks and quarterback hits, but this is how they affect the game in other ways. Hands up in the passing lane, and Ndamukong Suh, a complete defensive tackle. Everyone talks about, okay, is his sack numbers down? Is it this? Is it that? He's getting doubled on almost every snap, yet still finds a way into the passing lane and knocks away the attempted pass by Matt Castle.
Suh with 5.5 sacks on the season. Third down and 2 at the 23. Asiata lines up as a receiver at the top of your screen. Castle looking underneath, finds Greg Jennings, and a first down for the Vikings. Inside the Detroit 15. Rasheem Mathis brings him down. And it's a gain of 9 on 3rd and 2.
See Greg Jennings get up laughing a little bit. I'm wondering if he's thinking to himself, because he was trying to get the first down. You see that little bit of regret there? When he caught the ball, there was space to the right side that was open. But he caught it thinking first down, get upfield, and I think he thinks he sacrificed a few yards after the catch.
So a first down and 10 at the 15. Play fake. Castle finding Red Ellison. Ellison down at the 1. And Red Ellison gets up, and it looks like he's hurt.
He'll come here and get into the flat, coming against flow, against the grain. And he gets into the flat, catches the football. Nice job of misdirection as directed by Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, and he lands a little bit awkwardly at the end of the play.
So Ellison down, 11:34 to play in the second quarter. Vikings with the lead and knocking on the door.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back. Jared Allen, with Red Ellison going out, has now checked in on offense for the Vikings. He has 2 career receptions, 2 touchdowns. How about that as he lines up as a tight end? First down and goal to the 2. Here's Castle. Back in the end zone. Oh, Allen was open. Jared Allen was open. Matt Castle just couldn't put it on him.
And you see Matt Castle, he knew it too. He had the shot in the back of the end zone, and overshot it. Wide open. And listen to the ovation for Jared Allen going out of the game.
And Jared, you can hear him mouthing, dude, I was open.
Indeed he was.
Must be fun to come to work with him every day, Charles.
Oh, without a doubt. And now it might be fun to throw it to the rookie, top of the screen, Patterson.
10th play of the drive. Castle looking for Patterson, and no flag on the play. Darius Slay covering for the Lions.
Appeared to be a good job by Slay, working one-on-one against the rookie Patterson, who has the height advantage, stays with him, stays into the body, and makes the play. Patterson wants him, he wants his hands off of him. But in that type of situation, you're hardly ever going to get a flag. Both of them in the same spot, no advantage.
Third down, goal at the 2. Asiata in the backfield with Castle. Here's Castle to throw it. And intercepted in the end zone. Mathis. Up the sideline, make that Delmas with the interception, and he brings it out, and Detroit dodges a bullet. And a big smile for the Lions defense. Minnesota with opportunities, but the Lions come up with the turnover. So the Lions dodge a bullet as Louis Delmas with his 3rd interception of the season. And now Detroit with the football at their own 36. Here's the handoff, and it's Bell. And he'll get close to 40. Let's take a look at the interception.
So here's Delmas in the middle, and what Castle's trying to do is move him this way, but he doesn't bite. Louis Delmas stays in. Watch Matt Castle trying to move him, but he doesn't get him there, and he ends up reading Castle's eyes and going to the football and picking it off. Remember earlier in the drive, Louis Delmas got the personal foul for the big hit. He comes back and atones for it with the interception. The Lions defense has played well down the stretch. The offense needs to pick things up.
2nd down and 7. Reggie Bush now. Bush taken down by Blanton. And Bush, it's like that right shoulder.
Yeah, that's a little awkward as he goes off the field.
Remember, he came into this game 26 yards away from 1,000 yards rushing. You know that's a mark he'd love to set. 3rd down 4 at the 42 for Detroit. Their offense has been flat to start this game. Matthew Stafford will lob one up the sideline. And incomplete. Intended for Kevin Ogletree.
Riley Reep, the left tackle, has his hands full today with Jared Allen, super motivated. He kept him away from his quarterback, but what Jared Allen did was push the tackle back into the path of the quarterback trying to throw the football. So you can't really hit your back foot, set, and deliver in a normal motion because you got your left tackle and a defensive end in your lap.
4th punt for Sam Martin. Sherrill's back deep inside his own 15. And he'll let this one go over his head, and it takes a great bounce for Detroit and is down inside the 5. A 53-yard punt.
Game is sponsored by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Welcome back, the great Adrian Peterson on the sideline. Groin and foot injuries have sidelined him for this final game at the Metrodome. Matt Asiata says thank you for the opportunity. And Dominican Sue with the tackle, but it's a gain of 11 yards. Let's go downstairs to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Gus. Yeah, the Vikings are now without another weapon offensively at a position they're already depleted in. Red Ellison out with a right ankle. He's doubtful for a return. Chase Ford will get more touches there. And on the Lions side, Don Carey, their safety, he's out with a right knee injury. And Reggie Bush, you guys, you saw him come off. We thought it was more of a shoulder. He's messing a lot with his right hand. No trainer has come over to tend to him, but just pay attention to that right hand for Reggie Bush.
Okay, thank you very much. 1st down and 10 at the 16 for the Vikings. Castle finds his receiver underneath. Jerome Simpson cradling the football in heavy traffic, and it's an 8-yard gain. Tulloch and Darius Slay with the tackle.
Let's go back to what Carissa just gave us, the information she just gave us. So if Ellison's out, Chase Ford, as she mentioned, who started the game catching a number of footballs, that increases. Does that mean we get more Jared Allen at tight end now? I mean, in his last game in the Dome, do we get that? And Reggie Bush to keep an eye on him carrying the football with a right hand that's giving him a little bit of trouble.
2nd down and 2. Out of the I formation. Here's Castle. Steps up in the pocket in trouble, and he goes down. Tulloch finally covering him up at the 20-yard line.
Lions will not go to the playoffs, as we well know. But that's a sigh of relief for teams who have to try and block their defensive front. It's one of the best in the league. You're talking about Nick Fairley and Dominican Sue at the tackles, Willie Young, Ezekiel Ansah, the rookie, Ziggy Ansah at a defensive end, Devin Taylor rotating in at defensive end. They have been tough all year long. One of the hardest groups to block and maneuver in the league.
3rd down and 6 at the 20. And some movement up front. Dominican Sue may have been trying to get an early jump at Matt Castle.
Encroachment defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty remains. Third down.
And I'll never forget meeting Ndamukong Suh for the first time. We were at the Lions training facility in Dearborn, Michigan. He walked into the doorway. He covered the entire doorway. He reached his hand out and said, "Sue."
He didn't go Ndamukong?
No, he just said Sue. Third down.
A lot of pointing going to happen now. He said,
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty remains. Third down.
So they just handed back the Detroit Lions pass rush an opportunity because they'd gotten it down to where you couldn't just tee off. Third and short was a possible running play. Now, because of the penalty to Charlie Johnson, the offensive guard from Minnesota, the Lions defensive front gets a chance to get into those sprinter stances again and point towards Matt Castle.
Third down and 6. Castle to throw it over the middle. And Ford. Nice catch by Chase Ford. He's playing well this afternoon as he picks up 14 yards and a first down on 3rd and 6. That's his 4th catch of the game.
One of the fun stories that you like to see in the league. Here we are the last week of the season. Neither team can go to the playoffs. But for Chase Ford, this game is so important. An opportunity to really catch the eye of his coaches. He's already made an impression. Now as the feature tight end, he can leave a lasting one.
Castle. And this one caught by Jarris Wright. Makes defenders miss and picks up a first down. Taylor with the tackle. Let's go to LA for a game break.
All right, Gus, let's go to Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell, obviously happy that Michigan State's in the Rose Bowl, but now trying to get Pittsburgh into the playoffs. There's a touchdown run of 5 yards, 14-0 Steelers. Pittsburgh needs a Baltimore loss, Miami loss, and San Diego loss to get in. Gus.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. Some devastating news coming out of East Lansing, Charles, this week regarding the leader on their defense.
Yeah, Max Bulla, their all-star linebacker, will not play in the Rose Bowl. Been suspended by the team.
Asiata. And another first down for the Vikings. So gains of 14, 12, and 11 yards on the last 3 plays.
Look at the hole that gets carved up front as they handle that defensive line of the Detroit Lions, does the offensive line of the Vikings. Good blocking up front. Brandon Fusco, 63, Lodeholt, 71, Sullivan, 65, in particular on that last play, letting Asiata get into the secondary.
8 carries, 53 yards. So the young man out of Utah, underneath, incomplete. Patterson, the intended receiver, that ball thrown behind him.
And it would have been well contested, too, if the ball had been thrown in the right spot, because Rasheem Mathis had nice positioning as a defensive corner against Cordero Patterson.
Rasheem Mathis out of Bethune-Cookman College, started his career with Jacksonville. Terrific, solid cornerback his entire 10-year career. 2nd and 10. Asiata. Tulloch delivering a blow.
Yeah, I think Mathis set up the play for him with the initial contact and left the runner upright for Tulloch to finish it off. Take a look at this running number, the rushing numbers now. You're down to your 3rd tailback, the Vikings, yet they've got 106 yards rushing already. Now, they were aided big by the scamper by Cordero Patterson.
50 yards, 3rd and 6.
On the fake reverse pass.
At Castle. That ball deflected once again at the line of scrimmage. I believe it was Ndamukong Suh getting his hand on it. That's the 2nd time he's redirected the football in this game.
Look at the pass rush to the left of your screen. Suh, I believe Ziggy Ansah coming in on, actually, yep, it's Suh getting his hand in the passing lane. Ansah right there next to Castle. And Suh, the 2nd time, as you noted, knocks it away. They're looking for Cordero Patterson on an inside route.
Jeremy Ross ready to receive the punt for Detroit inside his own 10. Good hang time on this punt. And fair caught at the 6. 4:01 to play in the first half. Vikings still leading 7-0. Vikings will play the next 2 seasons at the University of Minnesota Stadium while their new facility is built. They played a game there on December 20th, 2010 following the Metrodome roof collapse. Lost to the Bears 40-14, Brett Favre's final NFL game. Final day at the Metrodome here in Minneapolis. First down and 10 for Detroit. And this one caught by George Bell. Now, we walked out of the hotel today, folks, and we realized that we were in the Midwest. You live in Florida, I live in New York. It's 69 degrees in the dome, but outside, -4. Altogether, -23.
That's just not right. A couple was leaving the hotel today and actually had the nerve to look at each other and say, should we go back and get our coats? And didn't, and then went outside for 30 seconds and came back and galloped.
Here's a handoff to George Bell. And Bell almost lost it, but he picks up the first down.
They're still scrambling for it down there. Haven't seen a signal yet. Looks like he got it back. There's Bell. Look at the scrum in there. Everybody reaching, pawing for him. Right there, 33 is Jamarcus Sanford on the inside. That was Harrison Smith in front. I think Sanford, 33, is the one who helped pop it free. And Bell fortunate to get back on the football.
Only the second first down of the first half for this high-powered Lions offense. Stafford. And this time he delivers underneath. Burleson will try to get close to that first down marker. Now, American Idol is looking for the next superstar. Join Jennifer Lopez, Keith Urban, Harry Connick Jr., and Ryan Seacrest as they search for the best new talent. American Idol's most exciting season yet begins Wednesday, January 15th on Fox.
High-powered talent there. You just mentioned the high-powered offense of the Lions. That's been part of the fade here in the second half of the season. Last 3 games, this talented Lions offense hasn't been over 20 points in any of them.
Reggie Bush back in the game, and Bush hit hard as he gets to the 30-yard line. Picks up a first down. Aaron Henderson delivering a blow. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Vikings lead the Lions 7-0.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, it's the final week of the regular season as teams gear up for a chance at Super Bowl 48 later on Fox. The Dolphins, Ravens, and Steelers all in early action, fighting for that last AFC playoff spot. We'll talk all about it on the Visa Halftime.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. 7-0. Vikings with the 50-yard touchdown run from Patterson. Meanwhile, Detroit struggling to get their offense going. Stafford 7 of 9, 36 yards. They'll throw it over the middle and caught. Looks like Fourier with the reception and a 7-yard gain. Joseph Fourier, rookie out of UCLA. This drive, Lions with 30 yards. Stafford sets up the screen. Almost intercepted by Jared Allen. Wow. He's got a sack. Almost plucked that one out of the air. Should have scored a touchdown if Matt Castle would have found him in the end zone. He was open.
Watch him here on the pass rush with Riley Reef. Just takes him back, realizes he can't get to the quarterback, and just plays the football.
Allen, quoted in the papers, is saying that he doesn't know what decision he'll make as an unrestricted free agent when this game is over. He would like to play in a Super Bowl. So that will affect his decision where he plays next season. 3rd down and 3. Stafford. Incomplete. Burleson, the intended receiver again, and Detroit off the field yet again.
Just can't find the rhythm and consistency that we've seen this team possess. how they did against Dallas with the last-minute comeback, and Matt Stafford getting into the end zone on that one. Megatron with Calvin Johnson, 329 yards and receiving that game. We've seen them beat Chicago twice this year. Struggling today on offense.
Sherrills backpedaling, lets it go over his head. And once again, it takes a fluky bounce, and the Lions down it inside the 5.
I want Sam Martin on my team in a golf scramble, and he hits all the wedge shots from 100 yards and in. We're putting every single time for birdie.
Martin with punts of 45, 56, 62, 53, and now 57 yards.
I mean, you can't get it to dance any better than that, can you? Checks up perfectly. The coverage is there. You see Ross making sure it doesn't get into the end zone. And then it's down there by Spurlock, who they just brought back to the team after a hiatus in Dallas.
Illegal touching of the kick, number 15, went out of bounds. It's first to touch the ball inside the 20-yard line. Therefore, excuse me, inside the 5-yard line. Therefore, the ruling is a touchback, first down.
Wow, so the Vikings really benefit. Sam Martin does everything perfectly. Michael Spurlock runs out of bounds of his own accord is the call. Let's see which side he is. Top of the screen. So Spurlock ends up going. Now right there, he's running on the white on the sideline. And he has not been touched or pushed there. Now he comes back into play. Now you can't be the first guy to touch the football if you've done that. And Michael Spurlock is. You see where the official, yep, and because it was touched inside the 5-yard line, rule states it becomes a touchback. Vikings benefit, ball at the 20.
Castle to throw on first down, and it's caught by Simpson. And he gets out of bounds, stops the clock at 1:16. Chris Greenwood ushering him out of bounds.
Do you remember earlier in the game when Drum Simpson ran up the field on that fade route, and Matt Castle threw the back shoulder and Simpson kept running on the fade?
Yes.
What just happened on that play? He threw the back shoulder and Simpson was there to get it. So good discussion on the sideline. Helps correct an earlier play.
Second down and 3. Castle under pressure and taken down. We're going to give that one to Nick Fairley. He's going to take it. He got a big paw on Matt Castle and brings him to the turf.
Yeah, he earned it because he let Willie Young clean up. But if Fairley doesn't make the initial play, I'm not sure Willie Young gets there. Coverage downfield is terrific for Detroit. Mathis running underneath of Jennings. There's Simpson trying to work. And actually, he's the one who gets open, but Castle had already been flushed at that point. Couldn't locate him. See, right there, he's got trouble, so he can't set and throw. Fairley there helps Willie Young get a hand on it, too, but Fairley makes the play. The big fella from Auburn starting to realize his potential. If he continues to play every down. See, that's one thing about Ndamukong Suh. There are no downs off. All right, if you're going to deal with him all day, every snap, if Fairley continues to do that, he's going to be on a par with Ndamukong Suh inside.
Third down and 7 at the 23. Vikings are 3 and 7 on third down conversions. Castle finds his tight end Ford fighting for the first down, but he's pushed backwards. Stephen Tulloch at the bottom of the pile.
It's like it's going to be a little short of the first down. And if I think the Vikings will probably punt the ball away. Most people look at this game and say no playoffs, no implications, maybe get a little more wide open, a little more exotic. For both of these teams, getting a win is huge. Everyone wants to go into the offseason with a win and going in that direction. Leslie Frazier, we asked him about it, asked him about his job status. He addressed it with his team 2 weeks ago and said, look, the focus is playing the games. The focus is not me. Jim Schwartz, on the other hand, addressed that with the Detroit media and said, we're going about it business as usual. And for them, they've got goals. Get to 8-8, get to 500. Win this game, go 5-1 in their own division. They feel like they've got things to build on if they win today. Important for both squads.
Fourth punt for the Vikings. 51 seconds remaining in the half. Jeremy Ross camping under it, and he signals for the fair catch and has it at the 28. Don't forget, coming up, it's the Visa halftime. Cam Newton. How about the Panthers this year?
Been a great year. Their defense really has played well all season long, and we saw the maturation of Cam Newton and that team just continuing to get better and better. Ron Rivera, who was an embattled coach early in the season, the Carolina Panthers, they got a chance to lock up the NFC South if they're able to win, but last report I got, they were down 10 to the Atlanta Falcons.
So the Lions with 43 seconds remaining, 1st and 10 at their own 29. Here's Stafford. And Stafford is decked. Wow, terrific pressure. Aaron Henderson, second sack of the afternoon for Minnesota.
If you're Detroit, I don't know what you want to do about even running another play if at all possible. If I were them, I wouldn't even think about snapping the football. Just take it to the half, down 7. The Vikings pass rush really has been amped up.
Stafford lining up. And he'll hand it off to Bell. And that'll take us to the end of the first half. Jared Allen, fittingly, with the tackle. He's had a wonderful first half. 241 total yards for Minnesota, only 56 for Detroit. 7-0. Your score at halftime. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Show. Welcome back to the Metrodome, where the Vikings lead the Lions 7-0 as we prepare to start the third quarter. Gus Johnson along with Charles Davis, and although it's only a 7-0 game, you can see that the Vikings are playing with a different kind of energy than the Lions.
They're playing like it is the final game of the Metrodome, and they're trying to bring back every great memory that ever happened here on this day. And Jared Allen epitomizes it. This is the cowboy that we're used to seeing ride in Minnesota. A sack early in the game. And then they put him in at tight end and try and get him a touchdown pass. He's open. Matt Castle doesn't get it to him. He breaks up the pass there against Matthew Stafford. In the first game against the Lions, he had a sack and 2 passes broken up. He's playing with that same intensity and that same production today.
Now follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. So the Lions, who deferred in the first half, will receive the football to start the second half. Their offense really struggling to get going in the first half here in Minnesota. Let's see what Matthew Stafford and company can do as we start the third quarter. And Detroit bringing it out of the end zone. Jeremy Ross crosses the 10 and stood up prior to getting to the 15-yard line. Robert Blanton with the tackle on special teams. Let's go downstairs to Carissa.
Thank you very much, Gus. Well, I caught up with Jim Schwartz at halftime. Not happy. On third down, offensively, they're only 1-6. In fact, their second first down conversion of the first half came at the 2-minute and 40-yard mark. He says, we're putting ourselves in horrible positions, that third and long. Got to be better on that, and have to be better, really, on third down defensively as well. And I joked with Leslie Frazier on the way out. I said, hey, we're going to see more of Jared Allen, and on offense, all he did was laugh. But I also talked to Adrian Peterson. I said, Matt Asiata's doing a nice job of picking up the slack as a third back. He said he's a hard runner. Very impressed, but hard for Adrian Peterson to stand on the sidelines.
Here's Stafford to Reggie Bush. Thank you, Carissa. On the misdirection play, and Bush will get out of bounds and maybe a yard. There's Adrian Peterson.
And you know what that conversation had to be like with Leslie Frazier when Leslie told him he wasn't going to play again this weekend? He's had to do it twice this year. It's difficult to get Adrian Peterson to acquiesce to not being able to play, whether he's healthy or not.
I'll tell you what, folks, if you ever meet Adrian Peterson and he extends his hand to shake your hand, be careful.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Fist pound.
He'll break it.
Just fist pound.
Second down and 9. And the handoff. Bush with the running room, and Reggie Bush will pick up a first down, gets to the 25. And there have been some major collisions when Bush has the football. Look at his jersey. I don't know if that's blood, but it's scary looking.
It's contact. And for anyone who's wondering about whether these guys are professionals, on a day where the playoffs are out of reach for both teams. You talked about the number of big hits we've seen today. These guys are still giving their all. And that run there is helping what Jim Schwartz wants coming out of the half. Picking up first downs and staying out of long yardage situations.
First down and 10. Stafford going for it over the middle. And is it caught? Yes, it is by Burleson. And he'll gain 20 yards on the play.
That's a better catch than we're probably going to give him credit for. You know why? Because it's on the back part of his body. He's going in the opposite direction. Remember, he had a broken arm earlier this year that he came back from and finished out the season and cradled that and made the catch with his body momentum going in the opposite direction.
Burleson, originally drafted by the Vikings in the 3rd round in 2003. Caught his first touchdown pass right here at the Metrodome against the 49ers. And the handoff, Bell. And he'll get to midfield as he stretches forward. Harrison Smith, the safety, making the tackle.
And look at what a couple of first downs have done for the Lions offense. Put a little more pep in their step. Changes the play calling now for Scott Linehan. Opens things up a little bit better for him now. Because now they're starting to get a little groove. Starting to move it a little bit. Doesn't have to be necessarily by rote. First down run, second down pass, third down pass. He can change it up a little bit.
Here's Stafford. And that one going right through the hands of Kevin Ogletree. Would have been a difficult catch.
Well defended by Sean Prater.
And rhythm, such an important aspect of sports.
It really is when you get into that groove because the confidence builds for everyone, not just necessarily one or two people in the zone, but it spreads. Here comes another third down with Jim Schwartz cited to Chris Townsend coming out of the half. Things they have to do. One of those things, pick up third downs.
Third down and 4. Stafford, flag on the play. Off his back foot. Ball is caught. A first down. Nate Burleson will get to the Minnesota 25, but let's see.
I think it's a free play for Detroit, and that was a nice job by Matthew Stafford taking the shot deeper downfield.
Offside. Defense number 93 in the neutral zone at the snap. This penalty has been declined. The result of the play, first down.
Kevin Williams.
Yeah, he knew he had suspected that he had the first down in his pocket with the Vikings jumping. So rather than throw the check down with a short little swing pass, he took it downfield a little farther and picked up a bigger chunk of yardage.
Look at those numbers. 3rd straight season with 4,500 plus yards for Matthew Stafford. This quarterback has been criticized this season. Turnovers a problem. 1st and 10 at the 25. And Reggie Bush, Matthew Stafford, 28 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. But I mean, he's just a wonderful player that any team would love to have as their QB.
And one of the problems you run into when you have immense talent, and Matthew Stafford has it, it illuminates and exacerbates the errors that you make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody expects everything to be great all the time. Now, does he have some things to work on? Does he have some things to clean up? Yes, without a doubt. But he is a guy that if he takes that challenge and cleans up those things, he could move himself back towards the elites in this league.
He's only in his 5th year. Here's Stafford, and he'll find Reggie Bush out of the backfield, and Bush gets to the 15-yard line before being knocked out of bounds. I ran into Martin Mayhew, the general manager of the Lions, on the sideline before the game. Martin and I go way back to his days in Washington when he won a Super Bowl with the Redskins. And I remember when he was playing and I was covering him, he was getting his law degree at the same time. And just talking to him, he feels that this Detroit franchise is close.
They are close. Listen, playoffs 2 years ago, clunker of a season last year, disappointing this year, but the talent level, Martin Mayhew has increased the talent level exponentially over the years. They have to find a way to get over the hump, though.
3rd down and 5. Stafford to Bush, looking for the first down. Reggie Bush breaks free. Touchdown, Detroit. 20 yards.
So Reggie Bush is all the way to the top of the screen, split as a wide receiver, runs an inside screen where they even pull the lineman out. Makes Jared Allen miss on the tackle from Allen coming from inside out, and then gets into the secondary and launches himself into the end zone. And the Lions are a point away from tying this game.
David Akers, the 16-year veteran, comes in to attempt the extra point, trying to tie this game.
Timeout, Detroit. This is their first. This is a 30-second timeout.
Reggie Bush.
They had too many guys on the field is what happened. They realized they had 12 on the field and took the timeout to avoid the penalty.
Reggie Bush came into this game with 49 catches for close to 500 yards. That's his third receiving touchdown of the year. Bush and Bell.
Not a bad duo. And let's be honest about it. Going into the season, you would have said Reggie Bush could be on that graphic. But how many people would have said Joyke Bell would be the second one as that duo? He ended up winning the job. So about Joyke Bell winning the job in preseason and in camp, and has emerged as definitely a terrific alternative to Reggie Bush.
And the extra point is good. So Detroit comes out to start the third quarter. They right the ship. Reggie Bush, brilliant piece of running. And we're tied at 7.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado, strong for all the roads ahead. By the new windows, one experience for everything in your life. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Final day at the Metrodome. The Vikings will move to a new facility, play at the University of Minnesota next year, next couple of years, and then finally move back into a new facility, which will be on this side. Here's Patterson, and Patterson still running. Cordero Patterson, very good return, 21 yards. Ashley Palmer with the tackle. Here comes Matt Castle. Let's see if the Vikings can matriculate down the field right after this. And welcome back, Matt Castle and Patterson looking to move this offense down the field after Detroit ties it up. And wow, nice tackle. Asiata stopped by Darius Slay. And a flag on the play. Now the new stadium for the Vikings opens in 2016. Construction is started on the Metrodome site. We'll have the largest clear roof.
Offense number 14. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
And as we mentioned, they will have the largest clear roof in the nation, allowing people to see outside. The stadium is a finalist to host the Super Bowl in 2018, along with New Orleans and Indianapolis.
And there's the owner, Ziggy Wolf, helping get that stadium built. I know he's looking forward to opening that. And he and his franchise obviously have some big decisions to make going into this offseason and into the future about who's going to lead the organization on the field.
First down and 20. Asiata. And that Asiata crosses the 30, upended by Glover Quinn after an 8-yard gain. Take another look. Virtual. We'll go virtual on you folks. This is what it's going to look like rather, as you look out.
Yeah, it just looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
It's terrific.
A little bit different than the Teflon roof we have now, huh?
Second down and 12. And Castle under pressure. Wow, he got smacked as he let go of the football. Jennings with the catch and the first down, but Matt Castle, he stood in there until the final moment, and he paid for it.
This comes after the nice run by Asiata, which sets up what? Play action. Fake it there, hold it, and the big swipe. Looked like Ansah, 94. Watch the big paw as the ball's released from Castle. He catches it up high in the chops, and they may have gotten away with one. Normally you see a flag come out when anything gets up into the shoulder and the head area around the quarterback.
A 14-yard gain on second and 12. First down and 10 for the Vikings. Castle to throw it again. Under pressure and will be sacked. Delmas finally getting to him. But Ndamukong Suh just destroying the pocket.
Looked like Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator of the Lions, was guessing right along with Bill Musgrave, the offense coordinator of the Vikings. Musgrave had run the ball enough, he thought, to get their attention. And on 1st and 10 in a favorable situation on the yardage, he tried to go for the shot downfield, and they went with a blitz and got him in the backfield.
2nd down and 20 at the 38. That ball knocked down and almost picked off. Really young.
I am so impressed with this defensive line of the Detroit Lions, not because of the normal stuff, which is the sacks, the pressures, the knockdowns, but how fundamentally sound they are. When they can't get to the quarterback, they get their hands in the passing lanes. We've seen Ndamukong Suh knock down 2 today. There's Willie Young knocking 1 away. Jared Allen for the Vikings did that earlier in the game. Couldn't get to the quarterback, knocked the ball away. If you want to be great, you do the little things too.
7th knockdown of the game. Castle. This time he will run it. Castle running for his life. Very wise decision. He gets down. Levy and Ansah with the tackle.
DeAndre Levy did not make the Pro Bowl despite a prolific year. 6 pass interceptions, well over 100 tackles. But guess what? He's on the radar now. In this league, you know what usually happens? You make the Pro Bowl a year after you're supposed to, because you get your name out there, and you go to it a year longer than you're supposed to because your reputation keeps you out there.
Jeff Locke sending it away to Jeremy Ross. Ross with the fair catch at the 16. 7:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Game tied at 7, starting to heat up a bit. All right, NFC playoff spots at stake. Packers and Bears meet for the NFC North title. Seahawks looking for the #1 seed. Saints looking for a playoff spot. 49ers have a shot to win the NFC West. Cardinals trying to clinch a playoff spot. America's game of the week coming up next here on Fox. I can't wait to get back to the hotel. Get the TV on.
Watch the rest of this great action, because these are the games within the game, aren't they?
That's right.
The playoff positioning.
The weekly Christmas present. And here's Drake Bell. Gets outside. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 25. Harrison Smith knocking him out of bounds. So final week of the regular season. As we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC.
You know, Seattle needs a win to clinch the division and home field. Philadelphia and Dallas tonight. Another winner-take-all game, the 3rd straight year for the Cowboys within the division. 2 years ago against the Giants, last year against the Washington franchise, and tonight against Philadelphia.
Drake Bell, did you purposely use Washington franchise?
You know, it's funny. You know, I did that a few weeks ago when we were doing a different game, and all of a sudden I'm hearing from people, somebody's tweeting that you're deliberately doing such. They're located in Washington. Relax, everybody. Okay.
1st down and 10 at the 28. Stafford on the play fake, over the middle, and caught by Ogletree. Another big gain for the Lions. This one 32 yards. And this Detroit team playing a lot differently here in the 2nd half than in the 1st.
In the slot is Ogletree, number 11, Durham 18 outside. Look at him, just runs into the seam, and that is about as well thrown a football as you're going to see. Puts it right on him, in stride, keeps him on his feet, moving upfield. Ogletree with a big catch. No Calvin Johnson. Matthew Stafford starting to spread the ball around to a number of receivers.
Stafford, 14 of 19, 145 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. 1st down to the Minnesota 40. Reggie Bush. Harrison Smith finally stopping him. As we mentioned, Bush needed 26 yards coming into this game for 1,000. Right now, 9 carries, 23 yards for Reggie.
And Detroit's had their share of tight end woes as well. Brandon Pettigrew not playing today. Doran Dickerson not playing today. Fourier is your #1 tight end, so they're using backup offensive linemen as extra tight ends. Corey Hilliard, number 78, in the game now.
Second down and 11 at the 41. Stafford. And Stafford tracked down from behind by Jared Allen again. 3rd sack of the day for Minnesota, 2nd for Allen. And he's just had it all around. Terrific football game.
Well, what complements a good pass rusher? Good coverage, because now you allow him an extra step or two to get to the quarterback. No time for him to get there. Here's Allen on the right side of your screen as he works against Hilliard and beats him to Matthew Stafford.
11.5 sacks for the 10-year veteran. 3rd down and 15 at the 45. And here come the fans here in Minnesota. Stafford under pressure, drops it off to Bell. Bell cuts it inside. And it'll be short of the 1st down. Needed to get to the 30. He's finally stopped at the 33.
And they beat a safety blitz. That was Harrison Smith, number 22, running all the way from the secondary and putting the pressure on Matthew Stafford. Watch the right side of your screen. There's Smith running to the line of scrimmage, gets through clean, and then knocks Stafford down. Now, how many times have you heard people get on Matthew Stafford about a sidearm delivery? In that case, the sidearm delivery is the right delivery as he puts it on Joyke Bell and finds an angle to put it on him.
So here comes David Akers in to attempt a 52-yarder. Flag on the play, and he pushed it.
Offside, defense number 27 lined up in the neutral zone. This 5-yard penalty will result in a 1st down.
Wow, so the Lions will get another chance. That's Sean Prater.
What is the Vikings record coming into today? There's Prater right here. So where he is lined up means his head is probably breaking the neutral zone, because it wasn't an offsides call. You heard the official. Lined up in the neutral zone. That's Mike Prefer, the special teams coach of the Vikings. And you know he's going crazy. Guys know where to line up. That's all it is. What's their record coming in today? 4-10-1? That's a 4-10-1 play by Sean Prater.
So the Lions get a 1st down at the Minnesota 29. Bush. And Reggie Bush trying to get outside. Bush has taken a lot of hard hits this afternoon. Fred Evans and Sendejo combining on the tackle there.
Remember, he hurt his hand earlier in the game, as Carissa Thompson reported. He's come back and been able to play through it. It was his right hand, so we were wondering about him gripping the football and carrying it and catching it. We have seen no real ill effect since that time.
Bush, 10 carries, 25 yards. He's a yard away from 1,000. 2nd down and 8 at the 27. Stafford. All day to throw it. Stafford finally just dumps it out of play. Meanwhile, let's go to Los Angeles for a quick game break.
All right, Gus, let's go down to Atlanta. Carolina, of course, looking for that 2 seed, but New Orleans is loving Matt Ryan right now. To Roddy White, the 39-yard TD, the 3rd of the season for Roddy White. 17-14 Falcons. Back to Minnesota. Gus, Charles, Carissa.
Remember, New Orleans is hosting Tampa Bay. If Carolina wins, they clinch the first round bye. But if they lose the game, New Orleans has new life as they try to improve their playoff position, and they can win the NFC South.
3rd down and 8 at the 27. Stafford delivers. Oh, he puts it on the money to Ogletree. 1st down and more. Harrison Smith had to jump on, and he prevents Ogletree from getting into the end zone, but a terrific play for Detroit. A 19-yard gain on 3rd and 8.
And who did he beat initially, though? Who kept the drive alive for Detroit? Sean Prater. That was Sean Prater's coverage there. Ogletree in front of him makes the catch and then beats him on the move before Harrison Smith has to come and clean it up.
So 1st down and goal at the 8-yard line for the Lions. Joyce Bell lines up next to Matthew Stafford. And they'll fire it into the flats. Ogletree again, and he's wrapped up at the 5. Zendejo with the tackle.
And he needed to get there, because if he doesn't, I think he gets to the corner because he had a block outside from a fellow receiver. But Zendejo came from inside out, shoots the gap, and gets there and bangs him down. Watch, see outside, Burleson has the block. So if he gets to the corner, he probably gets in. Zendejo, with the open field tackle, eliminates that possibility.
11th play of the drive that started at the Detroit 17. 2nd and goal at the 5. And the Lions call a timeout. Their 2nd. 29 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Game tied at 7. 29 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Game tied at 7. But the Lions threatening with the ball on the Minnesota 5-yard line. 2nd and goal.
Poirier at the top. He's your red zone target.
Bell. And Bell taken down by Aaron Henderson. That brings up 3rd down and goal. It may take us to the end of the 3rd quarter.
So it doesn't appear like they're going to jump into a play.
Detroit with 20 plays in the 3rd quarter. Only 5 for Minnesota. Coming up, the start of the 4th. Maybe one of the most charismatic mascots in the NFL, Thor. Getting his swerve. Uh-oh.
Now, will he wear that same outfit outside next year in this weather?
Yes, he will.
No sleeves?
Yes, he will. 3rd down and goal at the 3 for Detroit.
Thor, the Ed Hockley of mascots. Showing off the guns.
Empty backfield for Matthew Stafford. He steps up, slips down, and goes down. Kevin Williams covers him up. So the Lions will have to settle for a field goal try.
The pressure came at him so fast, it made it almost appear like it was a quarterback draw. Watch how quickly they're in his face and see him start to try and make a move to get there. I don't think it's a true quarterback draw call, but I think he felt the pressure so quickly. See that penetration there? That was Kevin Williams, 93, who might also be playing his last game in a Vikings uniform. He flushed Matthew Stafford and forced a field goal attempt.
So David Akers in to attempt one from 25 yards away, and it's good. And we start the 4th quarter. Detroit taking a 10-7 lead. Matthew Stafford's been a different quarterback in the 2nd half. His Lions up by 3. Friday, January 10th, get ready for the new Fox comedy, Enlisted, about 3 brothers trying to get this platoon in shape to be the best that they can be. Enlisted premieres Friday, January 10th, only on Fox. And I made a mistake, Charles. That's Ragnar, not Thor.
So look, can we get it right? Because if he shows up here in the booth,
we have problems.
We got major league problems.
Ragnar.
Sir. Mr. Ragnar. Sir.
Lions send it away, line drive kick, and it is picked up inside the 5 by Patterson, and Patterson almost got his head taken off. Ooh. Vicious hit. McIntosh with the tackle on special teams. 10-7. Here comes Matt Castle.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by T-Mobile.
When the water's running, that's Minnehaha Falls. But just to give you an idea of how cold it is outside, all frozen up right now, but things starting to heat up here. inside the Metrodome. First down and 10 for the Vikings, trailing 10-7 to the Lions. Castle. Get that one on the money to Greg Jennings. We'll gain about 7. Let's go to Joel Klatt for game break.
All right, Gus, back to Cincinnati we go. Baltimore down the field. Joe Flacco to Marlon Brown in the back of the end zone. That's a touchdown. They would go for 2. Ray Rice to the left side. He's in. Miami is losing by 7. A Baltimore win and a Miami loss puts the Ravens back in the playoffs. It's all tied up at 17s. Back to Minnesota. Gus, Charles, and Carissa.
Man, what a great day, huh?
Awesome.
For playoff, for people who want to see who's going to make the playoffs, great day.
Seattle, first down, Minnesota. He fumbled the football. Was it down is the question. Detroit has it. Palmer jumps on it.
The officials should rule Detroit ball, and they did a nice job of letting it play
recovery
out.
by number 58 of Detroit. First down.
Ashley Palmer with the recovery on the Matt Asiata fumble.
See, I think the officials did a nice job. You let the play. Let it play out. You know why? If they blow it dead, you can't have the change of possession. I think that ball was working its way free. Now they've got to determine, was Asiata already on the ground as the ball before the ball came out, but it looked like it was working its way free. From these 2 looks, I think that Detroit's going to have the football and be in great position. Ashley Palmer should have the possession for the Lions. And the offense has really come to life for Detroit in the second half to complement how well the defense has played the whole game. See if they decide to take a pretty good strike at it right now as they split Reggie Bush out.
Stafford rolls to his right and gets rid of it.
It's a good read by Matthew Stafford because he's trying to come back on the backside to a route. Looked like a one-on-one route at the bottom of the screen. Looked like Ogletree working against Chris Cook.
Now a flag, a late flag thrown at the 40.
Intentional grounding, offense number 9. There was no receiver in the area and the ball never reached the line of scrimmage. This carries a loss of down, second down.
See, that's where they got him. Really, it's the second part of the call by Tony Corrente. The ball didn't get to the line of scrimmage because he was outside of the tackle box. See, so if he gets outside there, but the ball's got to get to the line of scrimmage, doesn't get there. Watch where he throws it. See, he moves out, and the ball's got to get to about the 29-yard line. And it falls well short of that. And then there's no one in the area. So the officials got it right on Matthew Stafford. He had the right idea, the right thought, the wrong execution.
Second and 22. Here's Stafford under pressure. Incomplete. Intended for Chris Durham. Stafford knocked on his keister after releasing that football.
Yeah, I think Aaron Henderson is the one who caused the incompletion. Number 50. And he's low on the legs, which I don't think pleased the quarterback. Now you see him looking for the call. You're diving in my legs. I thought we were protected there.
Third down and 22 at the 41. Lions 3 of 10 on third down conversion. They need to get inside the 20 for a first down. Stafford over the middle. They won't get enough. Fourier with the catch. Robert Blanton hauls him down.
Another long range. Are they going to go long range field goal attempt now with Akers? Should be what, a 52-yarder or so?
About 53, I believe.
53?
Good from 25 yards away.
Remember, he missed that long-range one last time, but they were bailed out by the penalty against Sean Prater for lining up in the neutral zone.
His career long is 63. David Akers. Perfect. So David Akers makes a 53-yard field goal. And with 12:43 to go in the fourth, the Lions take a 13-7 lead. Welcome back, folks. Coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week with a showdown between the Packers and the Bears for the NFC North title or other games with major playoff implications. The action continues next right here on Fox.
Oh, look at those playoff implications. The Panthers, Baltimore Ravens now tied. They get a win and a loss by Miami or San Diego. Miami currently losing at the Jets.
Patterson, 9 yards deep, brings it out of the end zone, and he's chopped down at the 15.
Well, he had a 109-yard kickoff return for a touchdown earlier this year against Green Bay. He has no fear at all about bringing it out and has the green light to do so.
Ashley Palmer with the tackle on special teams. As you take a look at the lineup coming up next here on Fox.
The Packers-Bears game, remember, has been billed as a winner-take-all. Winner wins the division. The truth is, no one's thinking in this direction, of course, but the Bears go if they get a tie. So the Packers don't have that luxury. It's win or nothing.
Aaron Rodgers returning. First down for Minnesota. Matt Castle over the middle, and it's caught. Terrific ball. Now they say incomplete. Jerome Simpson, the receiver.
I think they're awarding him the catch. They may be discussing it, but it's spotted like he caught the football.
Simpson may have injured his finger.
And as you noted, tremendous pass by Castle. Put it right on him. You see the ball kind of popping its way free there at the end of the play. They may take a look at this one.
So Detroit will challenge the play. And you had a chance to talk to Coach Schwartz yesterday.
Detroit is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
And the irony of this is what? What's the rule we're probably going to be looking at? Did he complete the process of the catch all the way through to the ground? See the ball popping free? I think it's going to turn around and Detroit's going to get an incompletion on the play. Because the irony is what? Calvin Johnson rule. Remember that?
Where the ball actually touched the ground.
Look at this and see it pop free, touching the ground, no real possession there. The possession came as he fell on it. So I think that the Darius Slay made a nice play on the football, and this challenge should be rewarded as Jerome Simpson gets some medical attention.
Megatron.
Yeah, if you go back to that, was it opening day a few seasons ago in Chicago, where he made the catch, he looked like the game winner. And the rule was did not complete it all the way through. Looked like a touchdown to everyone else in America, but didn't have it all the way through the conclusion of the play. Incomplete pass.
Calvin Johnson named to his 4th straight Pro Bowl on Friday. Slowed by a right knee injury.
Ankle.
One report says it's a partially torn posterior cruciate ligament.
And he has not addressed that. That report came out and he has not confirmed that one, nor have the Lions. But he's played through a number of injuries and pain throughout his career at Detroit. Usually answers the bell. Not going today, which I think was a prudent move for him and the Lions. Well-thrown football, but look at the play by Slay. Look at him getting 2 hands in to pop the ball free from Jerome Simpson. I don't think he ever truly had the catch.
After reviewing the play, it is an incomplete pass as the ball came out and hit the ground before he regained possession. It will be Minnesota's ball. 2nd down and 10 at the 16-yard line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 12:33. 12:33. Thank you.
Leslie Frazier, head coach of the Vikings, looking at a 2nd and long now. He and his offensive coordinator, Bill Musgrave, what do they dial up against this fierce Lions pass rush? You don't have your top 2 running backs in the game. Trying to throw the ball here, always tough.
Only 32 yards of offense for Minnesota in the 2nd half. The Lions have 156. First half, Minnesota had 241. 2nd and 10. Castle, screen. Asiata breaks a tackle, but is gobbled up by Tulloch.
Oh, is that well defended? Because they brought a blitz. Safety blitz with Louis Delmas, and then everyone else covered, not just the receivers, but all the areas of the field. Because as soon as Asiata caught it and made a move, there were 3 white shirts in the vicinity, led by Tulloch, to put him down.
And we call college football every week, Charles. Different story between the college game and the NFL game.
Yeah, the pass rushes, it gets ramped up in this league, just changes everything you do and how you think offensively.
Castle on the move, delivers, incomplete. Greg Jennings got a hand on it, couldn't haul it in, and Minnesota will have to punt.
They had a chance on that play. Matt Castle showed a little niftiness in the pocket, created a little bit of extra time, and created a throwing lane for himself to try and hit Greg Jennings downfield, and just overshot the target by a smidgen. Otherwise, that's a big first down pickup for the Vikings. Instead, field position again shifts the way of Detroit. Feels like most of this half has been played on Minnesota's side of the field.
So Locke will punt out of his own end zone. Ross back deep. And Ross from the 39. And tries to turn it up. Flag on the play as he crosses the 45.
During the return of the kick, personal foul, clipping, offense, 15-yard penalty, receiving team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Reggie Bush is a yard away from 1,000, but this man was a 1,000-yard machine. Barry Sanders, 1,000 or more rushing yards in all 10 seasons with Detroit. Reggie Bush came into this game 26 yards away from his 1,000 this season. Who could forget Barry?
And you saw the void he left. Just 3 Detroit Lions runners since Barry left the game have exceeded the 1,000-yard mark. Reggie Bush trying to get there. Last we see, Kevin Jones, 2004.
First down and 10 at the 23. Bush the lone setback, looking for that yard. And he won't get it here. Wow.
He's going to need a few more now.
Floyd with the tackle in the Lions backfield.
Now Reggie Bush has an opportunity to make up for that. Do you remember the name Dave Hampton at all, partner?
Yes.
Running back Atlanta Falcons?
Yes.
He goes over 1,000 yards late in the game on the last game of the season, back when they played 14 games, gave him the ball, stopped the game, the whole deal. Then he came into the game, they handed it to him again, lost yardage, finished the season with 995 yards.
Wow. Did he get to keep the ball?
I'm not sure he wanted to keep it after that. I think he left it with the trainer.
He probably didn't get his bonus. Here's Stafford, and Stafford just thrown down. More pressure, this time Everson Griffin. 5 sacks today for Minnesota.
And that looked like a blocking issue over here, because I see them talking after the play. Look at this. Not sure what type of assignment you have. Fourier, the tight end, went out on a pass route. After the play, I saw him talking with fellow offensive line mates as if to say, I went out for a pass, was I supposed to? And Griffin became a free runner to the quarterback and ultimately a free sacker of Matthew Stafford.
5.5 sacks on the season for Everson Griffin, the 4th-year man out of USC. Stafford sets up. Here's Bell. And Bell wrestled down as he crosses the 10. Prater again with the tackle for the Vikings.
We see what the penalty did. All right, it helped field position for the Vikings defense. Then they get the big sack, which changed field position again. This can only help the Vikings offense if they don't mess up on this change of possession, because they've struggled all this second half, and field position's been a big part of it.
Sam Martin has been terrific punting the ball for the Lions, his 6th punt. Sherrills from the 41. Sherrills outside. Sherrills with a lead. Can he get past the punter? Down the sideline. Out of bounds. Stopped at the 5. A 53-yard return.
Now watch the left side of the screen, because sometimes it's the blocks you don't throw that are the key ones. See right there, 14, Joe Webb, he didn't throw the block, because if he had launched it, he would have clipped. Then there was a nice block by Mistral Raymond, number 41, downfield, which helped Marcus Sherrills. And look at the punter, Sam Martin was like, do I, don't I? I'll just skid out of the way. But Marcus Sherrills has his Vikings in business inside the 10-yard line.
First down and goal at the 8-yard line for Minnesota. Castle in the end zone. Incomplete. Right, the intended receiver. Good coverage on the play by Darius Slay.
You mentioned Slay's name on a few occasions today with really nice coverage in the secondary. Second-round pick out of Mississippi State. Never sees the ball, but he doesn't affect the play because he doesn't grab the receiver. So there's no face guarding. There's none of that call, so there's no interference either. He didn't touch him.
Second down and goal at the 8. Matt Castle in the shotgun. Throws it. Caught! Patterson, touchdown, Minnesota.
Watch how Patterson creates space and does what they call uncovers himself downfield, because the coverage is good. But watch how he steps away from Greenwood there. See that? Steps away into the open lane, covered, yet the receiver finds a way to uncover himself in the end zone to complete the touchdown catch.
So the Vikings with a chance to go up. Extra point is good. 9:19 remaining. At the Metrodome, a terrific punt return sets up a Matt Castle touchdown pass. Patterson's second touchdown of the day, and the Vikings are up by a penny.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Order online now from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Welcome back. Cordero Patterson gives the Vikings the 14-13 lead. And Detroit will start from their own 20. Let's go downstairs to Carissa.
Well, Gus, Cordero Patterson's a crowd favorite, not just because of the 2 touchdowns, but this guy was out here before the game, Gus, with his friend Jarius Wright, signing autographs, taking pictures, but he wasn't always this way. I know he's only a rookie, but when we sat in those meetings with offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave, he said this young kid out of Tennessee kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Veterans like Greg Jennings weren't really so sure of what to make out of him, and then Jarius Wright, who's actually only in his second year, took him under his wing. The two went to Vegas together, which we don't want to know what happened there, but had a great time, bonded instantly, and have since been inseparable. You see him on the sideline constantly, where one is, the other is, and making a big impact for this Vikings team right now.
All right, thank you very much. Kevin Ogletree with the reception for Detroit. It's a gain of 15. Prater with the tackle.
And Jarius Wright may be just a second-year player, as Carissa just noted, but he knows all the wide receiver positions. So he was the one really in charge of helping teach Cordero Patterson the system. Because when he was at Tennessee, he was in one spot all the time, didn't have to move around, didn't have to know formations. Jarius Wright helped him learn all of those, and look at the dynamic playmaker he's become.
First down and 10 for Detroit, though. And they'll hand the football off to Reggie Bush. And Reggie Bush crosses the 40. That's a 7-yard gain, and he may have his 1,000 yards now. I believe he does.
And it means so much to a running back to cross that magic 1,000-yard threshold. No, it's not the same as when it was a 14-game season. But still, 1,000 yards is the benchmark that all running backs are trying to get to. So congratulations to Reggie Bush for getting it done again.
Bush goes over 1,000 yards for the second time in his career.
First time was with the Miami Dolphins.
Stafford. Wide open, incomplete. He had Kevin Ogletree. Stafford wishes he had that one back. Let's check in with Joel Klatt in Los Angeles.
All right, Gus, coming up next on Fox, most of you will see this guy, Aaron Rodgers, back on the field in the huge divisional showdown. Win or go home in the NFC North against Jay Cutler, who is all-time as the Bears quarterback, 1-7 against the Pack. It's America's Game of the Week next on Fox. Gus.
Pretty fitting with that rivalry, Green Bay and Chicago finishing up the season.
3rd down and 3 at the 42 for Detroit. Stafford delivers. Ogletree, 1st down. Blanton with the tackle, but Ogletree got more than enough. He gained 6 yards on 3rd and 3.
That was a good route by Kevin Ogletree. Knew exactly where the 1st down marker was, got there, and then was able to get additional yardage with one deft move and getting up inside and getting upfield.
Ogletree, 3 catches, 54 yards today. 1st down at the 48 for Detroit. Bush. And Reggie Bush downed at the 47 after a 5-yard gain. Harrison Smith stops him.
Detroit down in tight ends. Brandon Pettigrew, their starter, on IR with an ankle injury. Doran Dickerson, backup tight end, had a concussion, not playing today. So Corey Hilliard, 78, was in the game, running a tight end set, going in motion, and coming back inside to help block for Reggie Bush. Detroit getting creative and trying to run their offense.
2nd down and 5 at the 47. They'll swing it out. Nice grab made here by Burleson, as he plucked it right out of the air and picked up a 1st down, an 8-yard gain. Sanford and Blanton combining on the tackle. Reggie Bush stood up and driven backwards. Jared Allen, bottom of the pile, 1st man to him.
Different formation, but a repeat of the same run. He had the same action by Corey Hilliard, number 78, playing the tight end position, even though he's an offensive tackle. Goes in motion to the right, comes back inside to help lead for Reggie Bush, but the Vikings sniffed it out, and we're there to stack it up.
Fourier, the rookie tight end. Reggie Bush, the pistol back behind Stafford. Here's Stafford to throw it. And incomplete. Kevin Ogletree looks like he slipped coming out of his route.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will be jumping on Matthew Stafford for that one, but I think you nailed it. Ogletree slipped coming out of his route and threw off the timing and where Stafford expected him to be.
Third and 12. Vikings looking for a big play. Will it be Jared Allen again, who has 2 sacks? Stafford over the middle and complete. Burleson, the intended receiver. And Stafford not happy with the execution of the Detroit offense.
They were trying to clear the middle a little bit, using Fourier down the seam and running Burleson underneath him and sending the ball to Burleson's way to try and follow the crowd a little bit, try and get everyone out of there, unable to complete it.
5:01 to go in the 4th. Sherrills, who had the electric return the last time he touched the ball. Martin. And it's fair caught at the 12. Under 5 minutes to play. Minnesota up by a point. Matthew Stafford showing his frustration. December 12, 2010, one of the strangest things you'll ever see. Snowstorm in Minnesota. Metrodome roof collapsed under the weight of heavy snow. The game that day against the Giants was postponed a day and moved to Detroit. The Vikings played the final game of the season at the U. Castle hands it off. Asiata almost broke free as he gets to the 20. He'll gain 6. Tulloch grabbed his ankle. There's a roof.
And you know how we got that tape, Gus? Randy Carr was working on that crew that was doing the game. I think it was a Joe Buck, Troy Aikman game. And he just had the foresight to leave a camera on running all that night because they knew the weather reports and just left it running into place. And that's how they got the footage.
Wow.
They talk about thinking ahead and broadening your horizons a little bit. And that's how they were able to get that tape.
Second down and 4. Here's the pitch. Patterson in the backfield. Oh my goodness! Fairly just rocked him. Patterson stayed on his feet. He didn't get the first down.
When you play the Detroit Lions, sometimes getting to the ground quickly is a good idea.
Well, they give him the spot, and Minnesota does pick up the first down. And look at him.
Give him points for guts and for being a tough guy. But with the Lions, sometimes you take what you get and get down because they come at you continuously.
Here's the first down. Asiata. Keith Jackson used to always say that football players were made out of a combination of rubber and steel, and you saw both on that last run by Patterson.
And how about him? He came into today's game leading the NFL in kickoff return average, over 33 yards a return. He broke the record today of Buster Rhymes, 1985, most kickoff return yards for the Vikings. Sounds like a Pro Bowl to me, right?
Yep.
Guess what?
There's
no kickoffs in the Pro Bowl anymore. So he doesn't go. Only punt return guys go.
They say timing is everything. 2:44 to go. Castle will throw it. Patterson climbing the ladder and brings it down in front of Greenwood. That's a gain of 24. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And look at what this young man has done today.
A little bit of everything. They've lined him up in the backfield as a runner. This was a reverse pass that he pulled down and ran 50 yards for a touchdown, the longest run by a wide receiver in Vikings history. A touchdown catch. And then how about that last catch for a first down? Seized the ball over the top of the head of Chris Greenwood, who had good position, good coverage, couldn't locate the ball. I was going to say it right now, Gus, if Cordero Patterson puts in the time this offseason and puts in the work and truly absorbs whatever the offense is for next year and really works on his craft, good luck dealing with him next year, NFL, because he's got it all.
Detroit uses its final timeout. Some smiles on the faces of Vikings players. Different story for Coach Schwartz and the Lions. 2:34 to go. First down and 10. Final game to be played here at the Metrodome. Asiata! Woo! Down at the 15. Give me the ball, Coach. I'm ready to play.
And he is a simply magnificent story. Came into this season 3 carries in his NFL career. The stats you cited in the first half against Philadelphia, 30 carries, 51 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those were his numbers. And how about today? Matt Asiata continuing to emerge, playing for the memory of his father, Peter, that he lost in October.
He's gone over 100 yards, and the Vikings are 2 minutes away. Don't forget, coming up next, it's the Pepsi game break. Big day of professional football on Fox. 2 minutes to go in this game, and the Vikings take a knee. Detroit out of timeouts, and that will give us an opportunity to pay this one off. Adrian Peterson out today. He gives his head coach a hug and a pound. Coach Frazier.
And he's big in his corner, too. He's already stated on the record he wants Leslie Frazier back as his head coach next year.
Your thoughts on Coach Frazier and if that will happen?
I think that the momentum is against Coach Frazier, but you have a case to bring him back. Team likes playing for him. They've got to figure out the quarterback situation. I mean, that's the #1 thing. They talk about some other coaching change. Bottom line is they got a quarterback who can take the ball and be that guy game in and game out.
And on the other sideline, Jim Schwartz, his team at one time 6-3. They will not finish 500.
And what works against Coach Schwartz is now they'll be 11-30 in the second half of the season during his tenure. And remember, as you said, 6-3 at one point in a season where Cutler was hurt, Rodgers was hurt in their same division. But again, this team is awfully talented, and sometimes if you're patient, you can be rewarded with your head coach. We've seen it around the league.
The Minnesota Vikings come back to beat the Lions 14-13. The Metrodome is officially closed. A courageous victory for this Minnesota team. A game that meant so much to this franchise and to